That crazy face, man. Crazy face. Oh.
Ooh, that snap!
That crunch.
That was the quickest thing I have seen. Oh! Hi everyone, I'm the Idea Maker, and today I'm going to be reacting to the next episode I'm sorry, I don't know why. I guess that's for the blooper reel done.
Yes, sir. We have a blooper reel. Love to see it.
Hey everyone, I'm the Idea Maker, and today we're going to be reacting to Daredevil Born Again, Season 1, Episode 3. So I am again joined by my all-time great friend here for Real Hooper Knowledge. It's nice to have you again for Episode 3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. An absolute pleasure, and I'm really excited. You know, this is the first episode I'm going to be truly watching live, so this is going to be really exciting, you know, and especially great to watch it with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally excited about this. So last time you gave the overview. Do you want me to give the overview of the previous episode for this video?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so last time that we left off, it seems like we're going to have some more issues as Fisk at this point is gaining some good traction amongst the people, but also some pretty interesting tension amongst the people, especially those who are in the police, to those who are in journalism. And at this point, we also were introduced to White Tiger, who was being framed of supposedly murdering a cop. And Matt was representing him, but the judge wasn't even giving a fair trial at this point. And so the one person who witnessed everything, unfortunately, was now a target. So Matt, with his great sense of hearing, ended up intervening and stopping those two guys that were going after Nikki before anything was happening. And so now we're here. So let's, we don't even know what's going to happen. It's going to get very, very interesting. Any predictions on what you might think is going to happen on this one?
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be focusing on the White Tiger trial, most likely. They're going to do a lot more investigations. And I feel like we're going to get... I mean, obviously, we didn't talk about Muse that much. You know, Muse was kind of hinted here and there, but I feel like we'll get Muse here. I don't know. We get a little bit to here.
Right. I definitely can agree with that. And honestly, I am excited to see what we're going to be getting. I'm excited for what kind of other things that we're going to be seeing in terms of, are we going to get any references to the Defenders shows? Are we going to get any references to any of the MCU events? You know, it is Matt and his story and Wilson and his story. But I mean, honestly, at this point, we will not know. Because, I mean, Marvel at this point has been very unpredictable, but I feel like in the personal best way. And with that, let's go ahead and dive right into episode 3 and see what's going to happen right now.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it.
Luquillo is a beach near where I'm from in Puerto Rico. To me, it's the most beautiful place on earth. White sand, palm trees, and the coqui. This little tree frog. It doesn't croak, it sings its name.
Okay. I've heard of those kind of frogs before.
You're gonna see that beach again, Hector. I promise.
Yes, he will.
And you'll be reunited with your family.
If anybody says that, then that's also a clear indication of I'm thinking what could happen with him.
Oh, man, he's cooked. You just say you're going to see your family. No, you won't, buddy. No more.
Oh, no. Let's see who we're getting in this, in here. Like, maybe Punisher might show up. Who knows?
I hope so. I hope it.
Let's see.
Yeah, we're done with that.
Nope, it still doesn't show John Bernthal.
Nothing.
Nothing. Unless if he is gonna appear at the end of the episode, but they just don't want to mention it right now.
It says in IMDb that he's gonna be in a lot more episodes, but here, I mean, it's only gonna be like what, 3 episodes so far, and he's not. That's weird. IMDb's kind of tripping sometimes, so.
That's definitely true. I know that IMDb isn't reliable enough. Like at one point, I was looking through IMDb, and they said that the live action Lilo and Stitch movie is going to be 2 hours 39 minutes. It's still such a great intro, honestly. With this one and the Netflix ones, I don't think that there should be any competition because to be realistic, it's pretty much on par with each other.
Evening, gentlemen. Oh, nippy, isn't it? Couldn't trouble you for the keys to this fine vehicle, could I?
Oh no.
You know whose truck this is? Oh.
Who's
you hard man, are you? Yeah.
Oh no.
Come on, get some rice in there. Eat up.
I mean, this dude is literally starving himself at this point.
That's like fancy gourmet restaurant food.
Breakfast.
Gourmet breakfast.
I could wash 200 million through that sale.
I know that it hurts to just sit by, but I'm reaching for higher goals.
Oh, this relationship is going to crumble.
Sorry to bother. You wanted to be updated on anything happening near the Red Hook port?
Yes.
Last night there was a double homicide not half a mile from the port. Apparently a hijacking gone wrong. It really doesn't help sell the place as a destination.
Oh, Jesus.
They're misbehaving because there's no one at the head of the table. Without you or me there. They'll turn on each other.
They're rats.
I mean, true.
Rats at the bottom of the barrel. Let them kill each other.
And when they're done with each other, whoever is left standing will come after you.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a point there, but at this point, wouldn't the people go after both of them?
And they both got a bullseye on their chest, quite literally, so.
That's true. But then I'm wondering who's going to be Muse.
Orange juice looks good right now.
It does. I want orange juice right now, but not in a small teacup like that. Are you kidding me? No. This man is literally starving himself at this point.
I don't know why he's doing all that, buddy. Come on now. Aw, Matthew. He likes it. Look at it. He's kind of smiling a little. Putting a little grimace.
He likes it, but he just feels his moral compass has gone south. But honestly, I mean, that's all of us, though. We've all gone south one way or another at some point in life. Question is how do we go back?
Glasses and doors, right?
I'm sorry, are you talking to me?
Who's there?
You're a blind lawyer who can fight.
Oh, no.
Judge Cooper would be interested to hear that you're interfering with a police investigation.
Oh, I think you mean a shakedown.
Well, not exactly seem ethical, but he'd throw you right off the case.
Well, at least I won't go to jail.
Oh!
It's a serious offense. Now maybe get lucky and the DA only slaps you with a misdemeanor. But I doubt it. I'll see you in court, officer.
Way to go, Matt.
Hello, Matt.
Way to go, Matt. Oh.
Oh!
Oh.
There you go.
Oh.
Oh, maybe we might get punished at the end of this one.
I'm getting the vibe.
Yeah, same. Something's gonna happen. Something bad's gonna happen.
Did you and Officer Shanahan see much action that night?
Yeah, we didn't see any action until we got down to the platform on 168th.
What happened there?
Well, we were just finishing up a routine sweep. The place is like a ghost town. And the defendant, he just came out of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
We yelled, we flashed our badges, but he just kept on coming. He starts pounding on us. And then I feel Kel pull him off me. Next thing I know, the guy just takes Kel and he just pushes him in front of the train.
That is not what happened. That is not what happened.
Like it was nothing.
No, you mean you guys were beating up the other guy like it was nothing.
I know how hard this is for you.
Me and Kel Shanahan, we were partners for 8 years.
Probably bought under Kingpin, I wouldn't doubt it.
Years and kids and just talking about how the Knicks are. Kel
The Knicks are
Shanahan's my
okay.
best friend.
They're okay now.
Mm-hmm.
This is so ridiculous, man. I feel like this dude is bought out by Kingpin. I feel like the judges as well. It's gonna be this.
Told you have a black eye. I hope everything is okay.
Don't worry about it.
Huh.
You know, there's this thing they say in boxing: the best cure for a black eye is fast hands.
Objection. Come on, Mr.
Mm-hmm.
You testified that before my client arrived at the station, the place was a ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're alone.
Mm-hmm.
Buskers were passengers, which means there certainly wasn't a confidential informant you were roughing up.
Objection.
You better have a good faith basis for this, Mr. Murdoch.
I do, Your Honor.
Yeah, he does.
You ever met a man named Nicky Torres?
Ooh, here we go.
Matt's gonna start grilling him.
Yep.
Curious, because as I understand it, Nicky Torres is a confidential informant. Used to work with the NYPD. In fact, used to work with you and Officer Shanahan directly.
Oh! Ooh.
He's have evidence for that, but I mean, oh man.
Come on, Matt.
Grill him. Grill him.
Grill him.
Grill him.
See, got him.
He's gonna bring him out.
Terrible poker face.
Bring him out. Bring him out. Bring the dude out.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Bring in Frank. Get these cops.
Come on, Frank. We just need Frank.
Uh-oh, someone's watching him.
Someone's definitely watching him. I feel like there's a lot more tensity in this one than I've seen in the Netflix ones in a while. But they're doing such a great job setting it up.
I think with the lawyer stuff too.
They're equally getting both sides perfectly, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh no, they are being followed. They're being followed.
All rise. Supreme Court, State of New York, Part 20 is in session.
Part 20, sheesh.
Not this guy again.
I'm telling you, some of these are bought out by Fisk. I just know it. I just have a feeling. Like, why else would they also have the tattoo as well? It's got to be that they're misusing Punisher, but also being bought out by Fisk. Because didn't the police commissioner or whatever say that there's like most of them are going to be trying to quit? Oh no! Oh no! Uh-oh! Go backwards! Go back! Go back! Go back! Drive backwards. Doesn't matter. Drive backwards. Just drive backwards.
Open it.
He's not going to be in there. Nice job. Nice job!
Good.
Ooh, yes! Let's hurry. Run! Don't walk. Just run up the stairs. Here we go. Nice job! Oh, that's such great misdirection. I love it.
I told the cops I'd help him out sometimes.
And by help out, you mean become a confidential informant?
Yeah.
Mr. Torres, is that what you're doing on the night of New Year's Eve? Were you passing along information to Officers Shanahan and Powell?
Say the truth. Truth will set you free. The truth shall set you free, man. Just, yeah, remember, man, you're under oath. Say the truth.
No. It's home all night.
Oh!
Oh my.
No!
You were actually at the 168th Street subway station being beaten
When Hector Ayala intervened to save your life.
Objection.
With great risk put himself in
Objection.
harm's way, didn't he? Isn't that true?
Counsel, stand down.
No.
Dex is gonna pop out of nowhere to snipe this guy.
Probably.
Withdraw the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Torres, you are dismissed.
What a waste. What a waste.
That was such... No, this was all stupid. All of this. It feels like what happened with Frank when he was on the witness stand, too, back in Season 2.
Oh, yeah. He just became unloaded. He just unloaded with everybody. Like, oh.
Right. Oh, when it's under a bridge, that means there's some shady business happening.
These are the headlines splashed across the front page of the Examiner.
It all ends today.
We don't take orders from you, son. That's not how things work.
Luca, this is what you owe Victor. Restitution.
Is it now?
All this arguing, bloodshed, chaos, it's getting in the way. 1.8. That's the number.
Oh yeah, I got a better idea.
Uh-oh.
How about I pay $0 to Victor, and you go tell Fisk if he's got something to say to me, he can come tell me himself. I don't take orders from the mayor's errand boy.
Oh, You should not have
I
said
don't
that.
work for the man. I work for the man.
It's the same thing, idiot. Really? It worked for the man. Yeah, the dude is the man, okay? It's the same thing. It's the mob boss. Still a mob boss.
So what do we have without Nikki?
Nothing. Our entire defense just got flushed down the toilet.
I'm just trying to figure this stuff out. It's gonna be a long night.
I sent Buck to Luca to tell him to pay Victor 1.8 restitution for the hijacking.
Ooh.
Let's not fall into a place where I don't trust you.
Ooh. She's gonna leave him. By the time that this season's over, she is going to leave him. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it whatsoever.
They're having marital issues.
Major marital issues. I just have a feeling, like I said, I think that they are going to separate by the time that this season is over. There's no way they're going to be kept together.
My wife and I, we live with my sister and my niece.
Okay.
Soledad and I, we've always dreamt of having our own place, and I had finally saved up the money. I put a deposit down on a studio in the South Bronx.
Oh, wow.
You're heading into the station. What happens next?
I heard yelling. Sounded like someone was in trouble, so I ran down to see what was going on.
What did you see?
A man getting beat up.
Did you know the man?
No, and I never saw him again until yesterday in court. And now I know his name is Nicky Torres.
Uh-oh.
The men who were doing the beating, did you know them?
No.
Did you know they were police officers?
No. I yelled at them to stop, and they didn't. So I ran down to help. And then everything just happened so fast. I tried to break it up, then they started beating on me, and I tried to fight them off, and then all of a sudden one of them slipped and fell into the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
You decided to risk your own safety to help a stranger. Wasn't the first time, was it?
Oh.
I don't understand.
Well, I'm just saying that you've put yourself in harm's way before. Many times. The question is, why?
Matt.
I was in trouble.
You
Matt, maybe.
Because you're a hero.
Matt.
Don't do this.
Matt.
No, are you the vigilante known as the White Tiger?
Matt, why? No. That was not a smart move. That was not a smart move. Matt, you're better than this. No. Matt, why would you do this to him? And in front of his family too? This is so ridiculous.
I can strike this from the record, but that is pointless.
Mm-hmm.
I can declare a mistrial, but it's out already, so I'd say that ship has sailed. Put me in quite a bind, Mr. Murdoch.
I didn't mean to disrespect the court, Your Honor.
Let me be clear. You blew open this door, Mr. Murdoch, which means...
Yeah, it's open season on my client. I get it.
He's Puerto Rican. He's gonna single him out. To have enough evidence, he should go to prison. But give him a fair try, which I don't think he's gonna get it.
I honestly can't believe that, unfortunately. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of unfairness, especially when it comes to those who are minorities, which is very unfortunate.
It wasn't your secret to tell.
But he said it anyways.
I'm trying to keep you out of prison, buddy. We were losing. I had to take a big swing.
I don't know if that was the best swing, though.
Being the White Tiger is more than just putting on a suit. It's who I am.
Oh, that's gonna get to Matt.
You have to think about your family now. They need you. And for what it's worth, I think you might be surprised at how much you don't miss being him.
Nope, he's talking for himself, really.
Exactly.
We had just dropped our son off at a game.
Ooh.
We were driving home, and this SUV, it runs a stop sign, and it just plows right into us. The engine caught on fire. I tried to open the door, but it was stuck. I thought for sure we were dead. Until all of a sudden I see someone running toward us. It was White Tiger.
There we go. I feel like something's going to happen to White Tiger to where that's where Matt's going to step back in.
More police reports. Officer Reyes. Officer Wong.
Wait, not...
Morales.
Wait!
Officer Grant.
Wait! No. There's Morales, and then there was Wong, but it couldn't have been our Wong. But like Morales, though, maybe possibility.
Mr. Ayala, let's talk about Mr. and Mrs. Burgos. Why would you risk your life by running toward a burning car to save strangers?
It's the right thing to do.
What about Gianna Moreno? You again put yourself in harm's way. Why?
It's the right thing to do.
And when you saw Officer Barlow was in trouble, you ran in when others would have run out. Why?
Because it was the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do.
There you go.
Police said Hector attacked them, that he came out of nowhere. That's what they said. But why would Hector, the White Tiger, why would he do this without the amulet? It gives him extraordinary strength and power. Would any of you walk into battle with one arm, tied behind your back?
True.
I wouldn't. Every night, Hector Ayala goes out and risks his life to keep his neighborhood safe, to protect his community. So ask yourselves, does this sound like the type of man who would murder a police officer in cold blood? He is a man of integrity. The community says so. The police say so.
Yep, exactly.
The mask doesn't make the man.
But the man makes the mask.
Whether Hector Ayala is wearing a white tiger suit or not, he's a hero.
Good statement. Good statement, Matt. Nice job. Nice job.
I get up, I kiss my wife, I call my kids, I go to work to serve the people of this great city. I go to church every Sunday, I sit in my usual pew, I give money to my parish, then I drive out to Queens to see my mother.
And that doesn't
Does
say
make me
anything.
a good person?
No, that just also makes you possibly a hypocrite.
Frankly, it's a false premise. Good people can do bad things. Bad people can do good things. Humans. All of us, we're messy, complicated.
That's a desperate
capable of
argument,
evil.
though.
Yes,
That seems like a very
Hector
desperate
Ayala.
argument.
That is a desperate argument.
Does that make him incapable of doing a bad thing?
You mean like the bad things that you're doing right now, sir?
You don't actually die until they back the train up, and then your body, it just bursts. And that is exactly what happened to Officer Shanahan when Hector Ayala pushed him in front of that train. But we're supposed to be okay with that, right? Because he's done some nice things for people.
He didn't push him, you jerk.
He's trying to appeal to their the grotesque nature of it all, which is like really messed up.
Do these people not even learn about what happened with the last time, about people relying on the cops, especially when they were under Fisk's control? And they shared that on the news in all 3 seasons of Daredevil. Do they not learn?
New York City never learns. That's when most people still live there.
This was just one heck of a trial. And to think that it always, like it says, in God we trust. Yeah, if the people trusted in God more, we wouldn't be having all of these stupid cases that happen whatsoever. Especially because there's so much stupidity that happens to where they just want to demoralize and put down those who are doing good and make those who are doing bad rise up even more. It's just, nah, it's unjustifiable. Where's trusting in God with that if you let more bad things happen like that?
I think that's why it's a problem with faith, right?
Yep. People don't have it anymore.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
Okay, please say not guilty.
Will the defendant please rise?
Please, Lord, let them say not guilty. Please let them say that he's innocent.
Versus Hector Ayala, on the count of murder in the first degree, the jury finds the defendant not guilty.
Yes! Yes!
Count of murder in the second degree, the jury finds the defendant not guilty.
Woo!
Count of manslaughter in the first
Cops are gonna kill him, though.
The jury finds the defendant not guilty.
Oh, hallelujah! He's going home.
Oh no, there's no happy ending here.
I still want it to be as
These guys are menaces.
Yeah, true. I'm scared. Now that you mention that, I am scared. But Matt could sense it, though. If there was anything going on, he could still sense it.
We're grateful that justice was served, everyone. There's no further comment at this stage. Thank you.
You tell them, Coach.
There you go.
Oh.
Oh, no.
When I was a boy. Daniel.
Yes, sir.
Get him. Your friend, the journalist, BB.
Uh-oh.
Due respect, sir, we have people at the Times.
Tell her I want to see her again.
Oh, no. That's not a good thing. I don't like this. At this point, BB needs to just get out of New York.
So is this the Matt Murdock victory lap? You win the Ayala case, and now you get to enjoy the spoils?
Not quite yet. One thing's missing.
Spending it with her?
See, my old partner and I, straight out of law school, we were so broke.
Oh,
Told about everything we had.
Foggy.
Yeah.
Melvins.
Oh, yeah.
Nice little reminder that once in a while, the system works.
True. Can it work today?
Foggy Nelson, right?
Unfortunately, rest in peace to Foggy.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Bullseye. Bullseye, bullseye, bullseye.
Bullseye's still alive, which is the ironic part of it.
Here's to a man who cooks.
While blind.
He truly cooked.
He truly cooked. He truly cooked.
Rest in peace, Foggy.
Amen to that one.
The Ayala verdict is an absolute miscarriage of justice.
From what point?
Courts fail, juries get it wrong. I should know.
No, they got it wrong with you by saying that you were not guilty, but you are guilty.
Very guilty. No, he can't. I don't think he can ever go out again. I think he's cooked.
Yeah. I forgot about what the White Tiger amulet does besides giving extraordinary powers. Kind of like
A man who wears a mask.
Ooh, actually, you know what? That's actually nice. That outfit is nice. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. Looks good.
It's very street level.
I definitely agree. Oh, we're gonna see him in action.
And the acquittal of Hector Ayala.
Oh, but it could be a setup. Setup, setup, setup! Oh! Oh!
Oh.
Oh! Oh!
Who was it? Who was it? No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. That was not Frank. No, absolutely not. That was not Frank.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
You know what? That's so good that they added the sound effects in the background from his culture. That's beautiful that they added that, especially in respect to not only the character, but the actor himself.
Is there an end credit scene? Or is that okay? That's it. Oh, that hurt.
No,
that really hurt.
There's no end credit scene, unfortunately. That's it. That was something. Oh man, I don't know what to say.
I know. I had a feeling it was too happy. They gotta kill him. They just had to.
Unfortunately, I was just so happy that justice was served, but then the way how Kingpin was talking, I'm like, no, something's gonna happen. Unfortunately,
They're tainting Punisher's name.
and probably Frank's gonna show up in the next one or in episode 5, and that's where he's gonna find out about like people using his logo and his skull in the name of Kingpin. I just have a feeling. But if Frank really did kill off White Tiger, which I really, really doubt it, then that's going to be a huge twist that I would be very, very surprised about and very, very shocked about.
Oh, so sad. I kind of. He was cool. There's no action in this. Basically, barely anything. It's mostly courtroom drama.
Honestly, I'm okay that it was just only courtroom drama because I think that there needed to be an episode where it was just taking a breather away from the vigilante stuff and just taking a break from all of the action that's going around and sticking to like the justice system, the court of law and all of that. Like I think that it was so good that they ended up doing so.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a different vibe for this show, right? They're really focusing on the courtroom, on the lawyer aspect, really. That's what they're really focused on here, lawyer aspect, because that's what Matt is trying to reinvent himself as, or focus on as being a lawyer. That's kind of what this arc has been.
let's definitely go and discuss this and see what else more we have to say. So now that we're on to the discussion portion of this, I just could not believe on the fact on how crazy this whole entire thing was. I mean, I'm still in shock, honestly. That I think that was one of the most shocking deaths that I've seen so far on this series. I mean, I think in any of the MCU shows, because just this was just abruptly out of nowhere, unprovoked, nothing. And I mean, this is just one of those moments where I'm thinking, you've got to be absolutely kidding me. And it's like it was the same thing with Ben Urich's death. That one shocked me when I first saw it, and I was just still trying to wrap my head around it. That one was one of the most shocking ones. And then the priest's death from season 3, that one was a very shocking
Oh,
one to me too. That one
yeah, that one hurt.
that one hurt me so much. But I mean, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I guess let's go ahead and discuss about like how this was kind of different in the sense of like how this was different compared to the Netflix ones, because I feel like this really showed more of the courtroom than any episode that I've seen in the Netflix ones. Because in the Netflix ones, there were some that they were very courtroom heavy, courtroom centric, but I feel like this one had more of like a legal pull to it, where it was really, really heavily not relying on it, but heavily like built upon one of the, I think the more important aspects of it. And I think that with the court scene and this alone, it full-fledgedly is fleshing this series out to make it as well-rounded as possible to fit not only Daredevil but also the street level vibes of the superheroes that are in New York.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like what it's really felt like it's been like what a courtroom drama would be in a universe filled with superheroes, right? Where you have to deal with all of like these ramifications of different heroes. Like you have to deal with magic amulets, right? But then it also comes a question of like what does being a vigilante or being a hero mean to the person who does the crime, right? Who is the defendant? Like what's it, Hector Ayala. So that's why it was really interesting to see these characters. I never thought they would make it grounded, but it was interesting to root them into reality where they would have to face real life ramifications with the law. And I think that's really cool. That's really cool to see that with the vigilante stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, I hope that maybe later on down the road that maybe if God willing that Sony actually gives the rights to Spider-Man of some sort or whatever, that possibly there might even be a portion of it to where they might even have to reenact the like maybe like if there was a court scene between like Matt trying to defend for Peter during the events of Far From Home, and if God willing that Sony just sells the rights to Spider-Man back, maybe we might even get to see that in maybe Daredevil Born Again season 2 if Sony does the right thing and just gives Disney and Marvel the chance on being able to create something like that.
It does feel really fresh, I will say, because even for like Daredevil fans, right? I feel like when you're going into this show, we really expect like some really insane action, and we've gotten that. But we've also really just honed in on the fact that we are focusing on Matt Murdock and pretty much Matt Murdock and his entire adventures as a lawyer, because that's the entire point of Born Again. He's just trying to reinvent himself. The same way for Fisk, he's trying to reinvent himself. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. And I feel like they're also reinventing the Punisher logo. It's not tainting. I mean, it's obviously tainting it, right? But it's reinventing the logo that was once representing punishment for all lawbreakers and all that is now representing the what's it called, the cops, all the crooked cops essentially. The cops get to punish all these vigilantes now. I feel like that's part of. I think that's a part of this entire scheme.
Yeah, I mean, like that's a very unfortunate thing. And then even today, like in our history, like we've known throughout all of history and even today how there's been symbolism and in society and in politics, to where something that was used to represent justice was ending up being turned into a symbol of hatred and a symbol of so-called wiping away the disease of the earth, and just in their points of views. And it's honestly such a interesting reflection on how, not only that you mentioned that this is supposed to be a series that also reflects upon how the leaders of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, there's good leaders and there's also corrupt leaders, and they do it in a manner where it's undeniably, like, unmistakable, to where it's an eerie coincidence that it's you know and at the right place at the right time. But then also with something like this, on taking what the Punisher was standing up against injustice to those who can't be able to defend themselves, and now you're turning it into a symbol of injustice against those who seek power and who want that
Mhm.
power. And I think that honestly, it's such a shame to see how things that were meant for good then get turned into something that people just, that they go and they turn it into something where it's unmistakably, going to be tainted in the mistakes of history for the rest of its life. It's such a sad thing that we all see as human beings, and just in the sense of just trying to, make it in a hard life that we have right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, it's really pounding onto the case of like the rich get richer, right? And them constantly having the power. It's not even like about the rich, just the people who are in power, right? The people who are in power constantly get more power while taking from the people who are already powerless already. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how they explore that for the rest of the season, especially for characters who already don't have, who are already like considered disabled, quote unquote, because like on paper, Matt Murdock is a blind lawyer, right? Even though, of course, he has superhuman sense and all that, he is technically considered like crippled and like disabled, part of the like the blind community, right? So it's like taking from those who already don't have a lot is really disgusting. It's disgusting, really.
No, it's definitely true. I especially know that on my end, when my grandmother was alive, I remember that she would also feel like she was helpless and everything, because she had so many surgeries during her time. She had back surgeries, she had eye surgery, and then she had 5 back surgeries within her lifetime, and then she was already considered disabled at a young age. To where, if I remember correctly, that her story was that she was in her 20s and she got rear-ended by an older woman, and that's how the whole thing with her herniated disc surgery started. And she ended up having to have rods and titanium cages in her back, and she wasn't able to do a lot because of that reason. And on the fact that with a lot of people who are disabled, and from my recollection, is that there's a lot of injustice where it comes to those who are disabled already. That there's those that they feel like they can over empower them because that they have the health, they have the strength, and they have that power to be able to be seen as if they're invincible, and if that nothing can stop them, because they got so much already for them, just because they already have like their movability, like their motion, they have everything for them. And then the thing is that people like them, they don't understand that God only gives us a certain amount of time, and we're going to be healthy for like a specific amount of time as well, before, God forbid, something happens to us to where it just changes our lives dramatically. And I pray to those that that they are going through the power hungry motion of just trying to feel like if they're above the rest, especially for those who are disabled, especially for those who are have any type of disabilities. I pray that the Lord will be able to try to open up their eyes and to let them realize that it's not going to benefit them to any way whatsoever. But and I pray for everybody to be able to retain their health, retain their ways of life, and just living the way that they do. But it's just, honestly, it hits me more, especially because of how Matt is somebody who, even though that he's blind, he could, with his heightened senses, which is what a lot of people who are, especially those who are disabled, they wish that they could have. And I could understand to a degree where there are those who are, though maybe those who are blind, who are deaf, who are disabled, like my grandmother was, and those who have some form of disabilities like autism, that they want that superpower. They want to be able to hear, and they want to be able to feel like, hear better, see better, have that heightened senses, and feel recognized, and want to feel like they could be heroes themselves. And in my defense, I'll even go out to those out there, and I'll look directly at my iPad, which is serving as my camera. For those of you guys who do feel powerless, don't feel like you're powerless whatsoever. If you are disabled, if you are blind, if you are deaf, if you have any form of any type of disability, if you have autism, don't ever think that you're not anything lower than everybody else. You are powerful for who you are, and you do not need superpowers to be the incredible person that you are. Trust me, as a person who has gone through life knowing somebody who is sick and knowing somebody who they felt powerless all of their life because of having illnesses and having any type of handicap that felt like it was against them. Don't ever feel like you don't have anybody in your corner backing you up. You got God backing you up in your corner. You got me backing you up in your corner. You got those who are family and friends. They're backing you up. My subscribers are backing you up. And my friends, my YouTube friends, my online friends, my in-person friends, we're all backing you up. So don't ever think that you're powerless, because like Matt Murdock, you do have the power to be able to change things. No matter what you think, no matter what people say, you have that ability to be able to change and inspire somebody's life. So don't let anybody take that from you.
Amen to that, man. Honestly.
And I think going back to the episode 2, just to also brief on it, it's interesting how, as a whole, it's so interesting that now we're starting to get subtle hints on different heroes and different characters in the MCU. And I'm loving that, because now I really do feel like, Matt and Kingpin and Foggy and Karen and Frank and all these other characters, now they really are a part of the MCU, and they truly have a home and a place to feel like they can coexist within teams like the Avengers, with the Guardians of the Galaxy, with the X-Men, which I hope soon we're gonna get the X-Men, whether if it's in a different actually I shouldn't even be saying that, because technically Deadpool and Wolverine are technically now in the MCU, but in a different timeline. But the Void itself was like, something outside of space and time. But I just now am happy that they're now included, to the point where they do feel like they truly belong. And I think that's what the fans wanted. And I think we won on that fact, because now we got these amazing characters that now they can truly, truly interact with everybody. And yeah, we've already saw it with Kingpin and Daredevil, that they were interacting with characters from Hawkeye, from Echo, from She-Hulk, which I know that some of you guys didn't like, but I personally loved it. But honestly, I feel like every single one of these characters truly now have a home through Marvel Studios and through Disney and through the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it just makes me happy to think that we're actually getting someplace with these characters, and not feeling like if they were just being written off from some other division or some other streaming service. And now that we finally got them, it feels like, family that's just finally come home after a long, long test of time.
Amen to that. Yeah, I know it's definitely it's definitely a dream come true. I feel like, of course, that sounds corny as hell, but it's definitely like seeing all these characters interact with each other. I feel like that's the whole dream, right? Like seeing these bubbles cross and pop and interact, right? Because that's how I view crossovers. Crossovers, it's not constantly characters talking and interacting with other characters. It's about the worlds colliding, right? And I think that's what made like crossovers like Infinity War work so well, because it's crossing over the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers. You never seen that happen before until now. I felt like that was really special. Same way with Daredevil, seeing this grounded Matt Murdock interacts with like the grand giant like She-Hulk. That's very interesting. So it's that type of stuff that's what made crossovers so fun. And it kind of, I feel like over the years, obviously it's gonna lose its flavor, it's gonna lose its spark, but for now, I've really been happy with how they crossed over with Matt, at least, with in terms of Matt and how he's been crossing over. It's been a lot of fun, and it still felt like it's still the same character while also, adding a little few tweaks here and there. So yeah, it's been a very enjoyable experience for me. with these crossovers, and I really can't wait for more. I consider our collaboration a crossover as well. Two different points of view and two different content styles. Colliding into one. I think that's a lot of fun. Crossover is fun.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think, and do you feel like the crossovers, like in the past, from Phase 4, like when we saw those like different variants, do you feel like, in a way, like with like Toby and Andrew Spider-Man, or even like such characters like Wesley Snipes' Blade, Jennifer Garner's Elektra, and Anson Mount's Black Bolt, do you feel like now they actually have a place in the MCU, like actually have, even though it might not be feel like a permanent home, do you feel like maybe they actually have a place within the universe that's being built?
I'd say so. Yeah, they left a mark. It's not going to be a big mark. I like to think about it as like a hotel. Like everyone, like these big name characters, they're checking into the hotel and they'll be here for a minute, but then they're also going to leave. And they were actually there for a moment, but for the most part, that's not where their home is. So I feel like, yeah, they're part of the grand MCU, but I wouldn't consider them as the MCU. They're part of, they're just a part of history. They're just not a part of that kind of history. They're not a part of the home of the MCU. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like that's the same thing for Daredevil now that he's got his own show, or do you feel like now he's got a permanent place?
See, okay, that's interesting because I mean, obviously, right? They say like, they say Born Again is continuation of the original series, which yes, it does feel like sort of a continuation. But imagining Netflix's Daredevil with the MCU, right? Like, it's definitely interesting and also like conflicting because I would like to say that yes, this is Daredevil's home, right? The MCU is Daredevil's home, but also like it's not the same Daredevil that we kind of know. I still don't think it doesn't bring that same feeling to me as the Netflix version did. So, maybe, but it feels more like a soft reboot still to me.
Yeah, I could definitely understand about feeling like it can be a soft reboot, and I also feel like it goes for the same thing with with Wolverine, with Deadpool, and honestly, I mean, as much as I would have loved to have our original Wolverine and instead of the variant, but even though that it does work so well with Deadpool and Wolverine, I feel like with them, yeah, you're right, they are gonna have like a temporary like place to stay, and I feel like it would be nice to see these temporary heroes end up crossing into the main timeline of the MCU and we get them. And unless if they, for whatever reason, decide that this is part of the main timeline of the MCU somehow, because I feel like it might be end up becoming like a permanent home just because that we still haven't seen Kamala Khan's dad yet, and we know that he was in the main timeline of the MCU. I mean, I'm hoping that there is that possibility that we get to see him actually there, and to the point where it's like, oh, this is actually the version of it, and that it's from the same timeline. Because I don't know, and maybe maybe you could. I would love for you to have your input on this. Do you think that we'll ever that in either season 1 or 2 of Daredevil Born Again, do you think that there could be some sort of slight multiverse, either reference or connection into the bigger picture of the MCU at this point within the multiverse saga?
My immediate answer would be no, right? But when I think about it, like if it's it's a big universe, big things, right? I wouldn't knock it out of like existence, or it's definitely possible, right? Because I mean, what they've been doing so far with the street level stuff, right? Because they've been recording all of New Yorkers, their perspectives on the recent events and all that, which is really interesting. So big events like a multiverse collapse, that would cause a lot of like shake and a lot of madness, amongst citizens, just ordinary citizens. So I would say there would be some roots there. I don't think it'd be part of like a grand story, but it's definitely telling the human and individual's perspective, especially like a citizen's perspective. Essentially, it's not telling the superhero stories. Like it's not gonna be telling like grand superhero stories. It's just to be focused on the individual and the citizen. That's how I see it.
And I like that response actually, because I do feel like that is the that's one of the most appropriate responses that you can come up with this, especially because of how Matt isn't the type of hero that I would see interacting with the Avengers yet. But I hope that maybe later on he does become like an honorary Avenger, or maybe even a member of both the Avengers and the Defenders. And I think that that would work really great on his end, just because I know in the comics he has worked with the Avengers before, and I don't think that he shouldn't have a seat at the Avengers table at any point, because I think that he should. And especially because he is a character that I feel like he works so great with the Avengers, and that he's kind of what I think that they need at the moment.
Right. And I feel like, for me, I view Spider-Man as still an independent hero. Even if he works with the Avengers, he's still an independent hero, you know?
Yeah.
I don't consider Spider-Man an Avenger. I kind of feel the same way with Daredevil. Like, Daredevil will work with the Avengers, but he's not considered an Avenger. It's not like a diss to Daredevil and him being, not being worthy of being an Avenger. I just don't think he identifies himself as a part of that grand scheme of things, you know? He just likes to focus on his neighborhood and, like, focus on his city. That's all he wants to focus on.
Right. It's kind of like how Black Panther and Doctor Strange, technically you could label them as Avengers to some degree, but they're like heroes that they work on their own too. You know, like
Right.
Doctor Strange has like all these different dimensions and the multiverse, and then Black Panther has Wakanda. But I mean, they'll still team up with them and everything. And like,
Right.
it's like, I don't even know if I could. It's like, for even like with Bucky, because that's now a weird situation too, because it's like, you kind of think about it where it's like, is he technically an Avenger? Is he a standalone hero, or is he a Thunderbolts character now? Like, it's like at this point, you don't even know, because I mean, there's so many different teams now compared to when we just started out. And so, with the grand scheme of things, I'm hoping that maybe we can get to and go deeper into that later on, and maybe they'll even get deeper into it with either like Daredevil Born Again, or the upcoming Thunderbolts movie, or even with like the upcoming Avengers movies, or even with any of the other shows. I mean, hopefully we'll get to see that somehow.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like there's definitely possibilities, like, especially where they're going towards that they're gonna get bigger and bigger until we inevitably see a reboot. I feel that that's what Secret Wars is gonna do. It's gonna reboot the entire thing. So that's why we're kind of going back to basics. And that's why I think it's what Born Again is all about. It's getting back to basics, getting back to reinventing yourself while also going back to what you're trying to be, going back to your core. And I feel like for what these characters have been so far, like Matt, right, he is trying to go back to what he spent his entire education on, what he tried to spend his entire adulthood on, which is essentially trying to be a lawyer. And same thing for, what's his name? Same thing for Fisk. He's trying to be better, right? He's trying to be a better candidate than his dad could ever be as a mayor, or even like being a part of the New York's politics. That's what I barely remember that I feel like in Fisk's origin story, where the main reason why they're putting up picket fences because Fisk's dad was running for office or something. So same thing for Fisk here. He's just trying to be better than his dad. I feel like that's always what it's been. He's going back to his roots, trying to be a politician, not a mob boss. But that inevitably is going to get back. So that's what I'm seeing so far with these characters in the grand scheme of the MCU.
And to quickly touch up on Kingpin too, I just have this weird feeling, like with everything, I feel like a lot of good things are not going to last with him. And I feel like it's either going to be in this season or it's going to be in next season, where I feel like things are not going to work out between Vanessa and Fisk, because I just feel there's like this ground that's shaken. And I feel like as much as Fisk wants to take control and everything, and then Vanessa took control of his assets and of his business and everything back before he ended up running for mayor, I feel like at this point, he just wants to be seen and recognized as the person who can be able to do everything without having any type of personal issues or handicaps weighing him down. And that's going to cause a lot of issues between him and Vanessa, because I feel like there's this jealousy, not because it's a woman that's taking over, but it's because it's the person that he loves that at this point was taking over at one point, and that she's calling the shots, she's making the bigger moves, and she's taking the guts to move, doing something that it's unheard of or unspeakable, and that he didn't come up with it first, and that it's more like he's going to see that as competition rather than seeing it as an encouragement. Because in the ending of season 3 of Daredevil, he was seeing it more as an encouragement once she kind of imploded on him and said that she wanted to be part of his life. She didn't want to feel like if she was being shut out. And now that she's got a taste of it, and also have like not even just a taste, but a drink out of the cup of power, I feel like now she's just, and she's really, really on it to the point where she wants more, and she wants to feed that thirst and that hunger, because she wants to know what he feels. And I can see it as that way too. She wants to feel what he feels and wants to know the problems that he went through after all the time that was lost between when, Fisk got arrested, when Vanessa got arrested, and, or even moved out of the country to keep protection, and to the point where Fisk doesn't see it like that, and he wants to be superior at all costs. So I definitely feel like there's going to be a major, major shift in Fisk's life to where we're going to see him be the Kingpin that we all kind of know from like the older comics or from like the animated Spider-Man series from the 90s. That I think that Kingpin is in that one, because my mom told me that she actually watched that animated series and she loved it. So I'm wondering if we're going to lean more into the sinister side of Kingpin, because we already did. But I think we're going to see a more disturbed and more violent and irrational version of Kingpin that was already familiar in the comics, to the point that we're like, we love him, but we're starting to fear him a lot more than before.
I think that's what they've been doing really well with that.
Is there anything else that you want to add beforehand, before we close off the reaction?
All right. Nothing. Let me see my couple thoughts. Overall, the episode was a lot different than I expected. A lot less action packed, a lot more character focused, and a lot more core drama focused. And the more I think about it, the more I like it. It's definitely gonna be one of those shows that I'm gonna be interested in how people react to, especially with like people who always constantly want action. I want to see how they react to this episode specifically, especially when they want more Daredevil, sort of. So we'll see how that works out, and I'm interested to see that reaction.
Yeah, because I'm honestly, the more the once you said that, I started thinking that's how it was with Secret Invasion 2. Because even though that the episodes started getting shorter and people started getting concerned on like, how come the episodes are getting shorter? And I also saw this too, because the first episode was an hour long, the second one's about 50 minutes, and now this one was 47. And I'm scared that people are going to fear that this story and this series, even though that it was rewritten, it was revamped, and it was reshot, that I fear that people are not going to like this series after a little while, because of them feeling like this isn't the story that they wanted. Because we all thought Secret Invasion was going to be a whole lot more different than we saw in the trailers. We all thought it. But I fear that people are going to say that this series was not doing Daredevil or any of the cast and crew any justice whatsoever. Because honestly, I feel like it is. And I like that it's being fleshed out the correct way. And I think that that's what you need to do, especially because it's on a bigger scale. Because like you said, it's not in Hell's Kitchen anymore. This is in New York. This is the bigger picture that they all need to see. And that if this is going to be a threat to New York, then we're going to have even more problems, that we need to flesh New York out a little bit more. Because we've seen Brooklyn, we've seen Queens, we've seen New York City, and we've seen Hell's Kitchen. But we never seen it in the perspective of a street level perspective. We've only seen it from like Avengers level, or from like the most that we got to see like Queens with Spider-Man Homecoming, and that was like the perfect thing. Like, and it was in Queens, in Brooklyn, I believe, and they did a great job on fleshing out both of them. Now with Daredevil Born Again, they need to flesh out New York entirely. They need to flesh out the everything about it. Because if they want it to be the way that it is,
they need to flesh it out, and they need for people to give it a chance to see that this is what is needed to feel more close to home, as well as feeling as a street level series.
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be like one of those adjustments for these, especially for some people. It's definitely an adjustment for me, and it's been a minute since I've watched the show, the original show. But yeah, it's definitely an adjustment.
Yeah, I definitely is, and it's such a great adjustment too.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely it's refreshing. I'll say that it's really refreshing.
Definitely. All right, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching our reaction to Daredevil Born Again Season 1, Episode 3. I know it was a long one, but definitely we needed to answer and address some of these questions, and especially we're now 1/3 completed and into the series. If you guys want to see more videos like this, then please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and go check out For Real Hoopernologist channel, which you will also see the link to his channel in the description below. If you guys want to follow me on any of my social media, you know, I got my Snapchat, my Instagram, my Twitter, aka X, my Discord, and my Discord servers. And which ones do you want to go and plug in for your side, man?
Just YouTube and YouTube and Discord. That's basically the stuff I'm engaged with most. So yeah, I appreciate y'all. It'd be really fun, and hope to engage with y'all soon.
Absolutely. And same here. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching our reaction. God bless you all. Stay safe, and we will see you all in the next videos. Bye, guys.
Peace.